I'm talking to Ruth Power here from Danu Ceramics. And Ruth, you were on a program with us quite a few years ago. I think it was
Yes.
2013.
It was the
Uh,
first program, I think.
the first momentum program that we did, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose we just want to get a little bit of your perspective on the journey since we met you at that initial
Yeah.
stage of your startup, right through to where you're at now with the business. So can you, like, just to start off, tell us a little bit about what you do, because that's the most important thing.
So my business is called Danu Ceramics, and Danu was the Celtic goddess of earth and water. And what I make is jewellery out of porcelain and 22 karat gold luster, and also homewares as well.
Excellent, excellent. And you're Dublin based?
Yes, I'm Dublin based, so I make design all my work in Dublin.
Excellent. And what's different about what you do compared to other people, Ruth? Because there are quite a few people out there now making ceramics and making jewelry. When you do both, is it
Yes,
story
exactly.
or what is it?
Well, a huge point is the fact that we use really good quality materials like porcelain, but also genuine 22 karat gold luster and sterling silver. So we use really, really high quality materials, but our price points are very accessible. So it's about affordability as well as something that's good quality and sustainable. So our price points would all be under the €50 mark, which makes us really, really, and also our story to go with it, and it's made in Ireland.
Excellent, yeah, and I have to say, from looking at you've always had amazing photography. You really style that. I can really, I kind of covet your work because it's so well styled, and the photographs and everything. So people buying it and the packaging and everything is beautiful. So you really consider all of that.
Yes, exactly. So that would be a huge part of it. With our photography, we kind of tried to create almost an enchanted world. And I think people really like to buy into that and have a little piece of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But this is now, Ruth. So can you remember back to when you started the program with us? It was 2013. It was
Yes.
early days for you. Can you remember how you felt coming into the program? Do you remember what that was like?
Well, I was a very fresh graduate from NCAD, so the National College of Art and Design in Dublin, and I graduated making ceramic sculptures. So I was in a very different mindset. So the kind of sculptures I was making were very conceptual, and they take about a month to make. And it was quite niche as well. So I actually spent a year, I graduated in 2011, then I spent a year exhibiting the work, which I really enjoyed, but it wasn't a viable way to make a living. So then I saw an advertisement for the business course, and the timing was perfect. It all kind of clicked in together, which was good. And then I did the course in 2013. So I was very green. So I was very new. So I had to learn the mindset. So I was very nervous, and I didn't really know what to expect at the beginning anyway.
Okay, and you're very modest, because I remember, like, yes, you were fresh out of college. Yes, you mightn't have had the business skills, but I remember, and you stick out, and it's one of the reasons we want to shine a spotlight on you and your story, is because you were very, very open to the ideas. You didn't push back against the whole idea of trying to support your creativity with business skills, which some people do. Some people push back against that. So you really
Yeah.
learned to try and bring the two together in a very, very strong way, which was great. And we could see your products and everything evolve through your thinking of your customer research, the market research, and how you were going to sell. And you did a lot of research, and you really looked, and you thought, actually, if I can make something that is beautiful and sits well with what I want to do, but it's still accessible and attractive to the market. So you were fantastic at that. You really were. What we try to do, Ruth, on the programs is give people the skills they need, give them the confidence they need, and help them build a network. Was that your experience on the program?
Yes, hugely. So a big part was how to do the market research, which is something that I didn't quite know how to do properly. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a huge part. And a big part of the course, which I thought was great and got me out of my comfort zone as well, was speaking a lot in front of people, but it was in a very supportive environment. So that was great. And then it's very powerful when you're kind of reading your ideas aloud to other people and getting feedback, as opposed to being alone in a studio,
Yeah.
you know, because that's what it would have been, and it would have been very different. So that was a huge part of confidence building for me, in a nice, slow, gradual way as well, but also being out of my comfort zone. So that was a huge part of it.
And how about the financial side of things? Because a lot of the time, you know, well, most small business owners, when they start in business, the financials are kind of scary. It's the unknown, and they're just terrified of getting things wrong, and maybe don't put systems in place and don't really understand what they need to do to be compliant and to be informed and be strategic about how they run their business financially. You know, how did that sit with you? And you know, is that something you took from the program? Like, did you build?
Yes, because that's something I did also. That was brilliant. And like part of the actual program was to write out balance sheets and cash flows, and we learned how to do that, and we had to submit that as well. So that was a really big part of it. And then there was somebody actually on the course whose business it was, was accounting. So he was a great help to us as well. That was brilliant. So yeah, that was a huge part of it. And I know that's probably the most intimidating part for most people anyway.
I suppose it is great. And yeah, you've mentioned there the support of other people on the course. Was
Yes.
that your experience, that people, the peer-to-peer support was very valuable?
Yeah, the peer-to-peer, yeah, it was brilliant because you're getting so many ideas from different people and so many different points of view. So they might have be doing a completely different business idea to you. Like for example, they might be doing the service industry, but they have a really good insight as well. So that was brilliant.
Excellent. Yeah. And have you continued to build your network, and do you use your network much?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. So I'm still in touch with people and giving feedback and seeing what they're up to, and it's giving them support as well.
Yeah, because you are like, it's always amazing, just, and that's why, you know, asking you about what you felt like in the beginning. There's people today who feel like that, who haven't
Yeah.
started on that journey yet. So it's great to
Yes.
be able to tell people it's okay, you'll get there, you know. And
Yeah, you'll get there. Like, because I came
yeah.
a really long way, like, as you know. So,
Yeah.
like, how you feel right now, it's not how you're going to feel in like even a few months or a year. Like, you will learn a lot.
So what advice would you give to people if they're considering starting a business?
This is just advice coming from my own experience, but it would be to personally take things slow, because I rushed a few things, which ended up slowing me down a bit in the long run. For example, I make handmade products, so a big challenge for people doing that is to actually, because you're making everything, is to have a range that actually generates a decent income for yourself. So now I speak to a lot of craftspeople, and I know a lot of them have this problem. Especially, I started off, and I still do. I do the wholesale model, so I sell into retailers.
Okay.
So I would get a fraction of the retail price for that. So it's really, really important for me to make sure that I have products that actually, you know, have a good profit margin. So my challenge for the first couple of years was to do that. My my business changes every year because I'm constantly refining my products
Excellent.
to make something that generates more income. And
So
then
product, you're innovating around productivity. Would that be correct? Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Every year learning how to make things more efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start that was very hard for me, and I would have liked to have maybe considered that a bit more
Okay.
and taken things a bit more slowly. So that would be one thing. Don't be afraid to take things slow. But then also another thing would be to be very self-aware. So is your photography good? Or if you have a business, is your interior design good? Like, is it really? So to be really, really self-aware about that.
Are you good
So
enough at what you do to be able to sell it? Like, are you the expert? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. And if you don't think it is, but you can work on that though, you
Yes.
know, and you can
Yeah. Yeah.
make it better. So if your photography isn't good enough, you know, maybe you're doing the photography, so then you can hire a photographer or
Okay.
hire an interior designer to make it better.
Okay. So about being very aware of your skills, and then all the skills and roles that are required within the business, and making sure that you know, some you can do, some you can't, some you should, some you
Yes,
shouldn't. And
yes, yeah, exactly.
build, like, collaborate or freelance, or outsource some of the work you need, just to make sure you have. Don't try and do everything if you're not good at it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then just to know where you have to delegate as well.
Yeah, brilliant. That's great. What was the biggest challenge you would say you faced? Was it around that productivity piece or?
Yes, that
Okay.
was a huge challenge for me because I was working really, really hard, and then like it was my passion, but then if you're working too hard, it can become, you can almost resent it a little bit. But now at the stage now, I'm where I wanted to be, which is great. So I'm really looking forward to this year. Last year was good as well, but for the first couple of years, it was really hard to get that balance right.
Okay.
And also as well, this would fit into advice. I was kind of, because I was very new, I was doing what the retailers wanted me to do, whereas I think it's better to make what you want to make. It'll work out then. They'll see that that's what you want to make, and they'll actually take to it very positively. But don't be afraid to kind of put your foot down as well and
It's
make
okay
what you
it's
want to
okay
make.
to say no. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah,
exactly. Which is something that I had a huge problem during the first couple of years as well. So that's a confidence thing as well, which comes with practice too.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to highlight about your business while you're on this little video? There's an opportunity to, is there anything you want to signpost people to, anything that's coming up or anything new?
So if you want to have more Danu ceramics, and that gives a nice comprehensive storytelling of my business and my photography and just the inspiration as well. So there's some travel photos there because a lot of my work is inspired by that. And yeah, so if you're curious about it, you can check it out at Danu Ceramics
Excellent.
on
We'll
Instagram.
we'll be encouraging people on Instagram and check out your website and everything. And you have a lot of followers on Instagram, I've noticed. So that's your visuals are so strong. It's
Yeah, that's been a
no
huge
surprise.
achievement for us, having a really fast growing on social media.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. Well done. You have kindly offered to give a gift for us to celebrate our 21 years in business and being part of our journey. And to be honest, you're part of the why we do what we do, because we do what we do at the Entrepreneurs Academy to support people like you and getting a foot on the journey. But to celebrate that, you've offered us a gift to share with our social media followers.
I have, yes, I've offered one of my necklaces. So
Excellent.
it's a gold fur necklace.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Ruth. I'm actually going to try and see if I can win that myself if the competition rules allow anyway. But look, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and congratulations on 7 years of success and best of luck with the future. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ruth. Bye.
Bye.